going on, Jerome's shoe mic? So JJ McCarthy is in his first OTA as quarterback one of the Minnesota Fighting Vikings, fed the local media jackals, and first off, I have to say, I don't know. Hey, Chase Daniel, does he look nervous? Does he seem nervous to you? Oh, he's so nervous. Oh, Muscusi. All right, but JJ fed the local media jackals. Plus, I think it's so cute isn't the right word, but it's so endearing that McCarthy says yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am to the media jackals, as opposed to, I don't know, I feel like Zimmer wasn't saying yes sir, no sir, no ma'am with the media, but it's just, he carries himself so well. I'm starting to worry that we're going to lose him to politics. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Anyways, takeaways from McCarthy pressure. So he was late because he was finishing up a lift. It's a football guy. Injury made him appreciate being on the field with his boys playing ball, which is football guy, again. Was able to stay in the playbook despite rehab last year. That's why he's able to hit the ground running this year. And we said, even with the injury, he got basically the full experience of being a redshirt freshman and being in the playbook, being in those quarterback meetings. You work with the VR stuff from Darnold in practice, and it was good. Feels bigger, faster, stronger now. You're coming back from that meniscus, and he talked about it didn't really change anything in terms of his preparation, but getting older as well, hitting that physical apex coming up in a couple of years is going to be good. Also, pursuit of perfection kills more than imperfections. So he talked about how the goals of OTAs really let things rip. You really explore the space, find out what you're going to be capable of, and you're going to have mistakes, sure, but learn from them and go from there. And it's the same thing with training camp too, where you'll see this story every single year where a noteworthy quarterback or an upcoming quarterback will have, will throw 3-4 picks in a day. And everyone freak out. I was like, oh, here we go, blah, blah, blah. Or it's the quarterback just calibrating the machine, checking out where the governor is and seeing what he can get away with, what he can't get away with against certain coverages, with certain receivers, etc. And that's exactly what McCarthy's doing here. So if JJ has a day where he has like 3 interceptions in training camp, tranquilo. Everything's going to be all right. Also, you talked about how amazing it is that Jefferson's in the building. Timing and reps need to build up over time. That's one. I think that's one of the reasons why Jefferson is here. On top of being a leader, Jefferson. He talked about how Jefferson's leadership shows up on the field, and it just really leading by example. And it's exactly what Kevin O'Connell said. Where if you're a middle or bottom of the roster guy or a fellow veteran, and you see 1-8 busting his ass in May and June trying to get better, like, what's your excuse? You're gonna follow that man to the gates of hell, and you won't back down. Also, invaluable building up chemistry. They spent a good amount of time together. He talked about the time of the Timberwolves, and he didn't know that they were going to be mic'd up until the day of. He credited their marketing company. They're both represented by the same firm. Also, we talked about spending a good amount of time with Ryan Kelly, and that center and quarterback relationship is really underrated in terms of being important for a team's success. And it's not just because the quarterback has his hands near the center's, but also in terms of line protections. Sometimes it's strictly the quarterback when the quarterback gets up there in years as a veteran. Sometimes it's a center. Sometimes it's a collaboration. So their line of communication is going to be extremely, extremely important for the Vikings' early success. So I'm glad that they're really getting things going there. Also, he called apparently Donovan Jackson's nickname is Donnie, which is good. Or, I don't know, like maybe this is a Michigan-Ohio State thing because remember Donovan Jackson's Buckeyes never beat JJ McCarthy? And also they didn't beat Michigan this year without JJ McCarthy. You're out of your element, Donnie. Mark it 0. Then he talked about how 7-on-7, 11-on-11 strategy, and Kevin O'Connell basically said like OTAs are essentially a passing camp. That's what's going on, but can't hold on to the ball too long. Oh, lordy. The number one issue that the Vikings had against the Rams, besides pass protection, is that Darnold just held on to the ball too damn long, right? And that's been a hallmark of JJ McCarthy's game, just getting the ball out quick, going through your progressions, finding completions. You can't go broke taking a profit and just go from there, right? And he certainly isn't a check down merchant because he'll go downtown Julie Brown, but get the ball out quick. Hanging onto the ball is a disservice to the receivers. It's a disservice to the offensive line trying to protect you, and only bad things can happen. what's up. Also, he was asked about his mindset coming back from the injury and getting back into the fold. He shouted out the late great Greg Harden, performance coach at Michigan. He obviously spent a lot of time with Harden, and also Tom Brady credits Greg Harden when he was really struggling. He was buried on the Michigan depth chart, and is talking about, well, I'm not getting the reps. Well, what do you do with the reps that you have? Be thankful for the 3 or 4 reps you have in practice and make the most of them. And then things will just grow from there. That's exactly the mindset that he needs. And we've talked about, like, McCarthy is so good with the mindset stuff. And I feel like that's half the battle, being a quarterback. Oh, he can throw a football over the mountains, but if he has the mental makeup of... Trying to think of an analogy that will work and be acceptable. Like, if you don't have it together above the neck, you're not going to succeed in any walk of life, especially quarterback. Also, I don't know who it was. It's some older dude's voice. It might have been Mike Max, but he's like, what's the furthest you've ever thrown a football? Which is the level of discourse that we have this time of year. Anyways, the answer was threw 70 to 80 yards in high school, but he said it was a very windy day. So that's funny. And also, he was asked about what's it like going up against his Flores defense every single day. He shouted out Harrison Smith specifically. Also, he says it's a tremendous blessing being able to practice against his defense every day. And it goes back to training camp last year before the first preseason game against the Raiders, where JJ McCarthy lit it up. Unfortunately, got injured. But he's like, he said at the time, he's like, I'm looking forward to going up against a defense that isn't Brian Flores's. Because if Flo the first play of 7-on-7s today, Flores dialed up a cornerback blitz, which is so incredibly on brand. I love it, man. But either way, like, we got ourselves a good one. One of the good ones. That's right, man. Anyways, that's it. McCarthy, no questions about, no baby questions. Oh, we got questions about how far he can throw a football over the mountains, but no baby questions. Come on, no congratulations. Come on, media jackals. But that's it. Your thoughts are our thoughts. Comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol. Production value.